Now the second item I'm going to make is an arrangement in a very plain glass vase that I'm sure everybody in the audience here has a plain glass vase. And if they don't, they should buy one. And I just want to show you what you can do with the plain glass vase. We just filled this up with cellophane, just scrunched the cellophane, but I was very careful when I was putting it in. I put the peak of it, having the sheet there, I put the peak of it just onto a stick so that I was getting it all the way down, making sure that I had plenty of it up here. So when this is dead and when I go to wash the vase, I just have to pull the top of the cellophane here and the whole lot is going to come out. I felt I probably should have put a light in the base of it, but I didn't. But I've compromised, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I'm using these new lights that, well, they've been out a year or so, but these little lights, you can submerge them into water, and you get about, I know I tried them out a couple of weeks ago, and I got 52 hours of them, and I went to bed then, and they were gone the next morning. So they burn, they last for at least 52 hours, and the batteries are replaceable in them. But they work nice if you have it at the base and if you have at the top. And all I did was just turn the twigs upside down. I have a few elastic bands here just to hold it together, but now I have to cover that up. We did have German pins, but I think Vinny robbed them all on me, so we'll have to compromise on that as well. Thanks, Audrey. Now, this aspidistra leaf is going to act as a bit of fabric. And that's covered up by mechanics. I'd have preferred a glass with a wider top on it, but one I'd like to have used, I need it for a wedding next week, so we had to compromise, because if it's going to be raffled, the person has to be able to take the vase as well, and I don't think the bride would be very happy with me if I left her with one odd one. I'm just going to do a very, very simple arrangement. I think anybody could manage now to cover that with the twigs, put the elastic band on it, and cover it with any sort of a nice flat leaf like we have there. And the Nobilis, of course, gives you great coverage and great mileage, doesn't it? Apart from the fact that it lasts forever. And I'm going to do just another very, very simple arrangement on this, just to let you see that, you know, if you have a container and you use the container rather than just sticking a few flowers in it, you can do an awful lot with just a few twigs and a tiny little bit of imagination. You know, I'm going tall on this. So what I'm trying to do is to bring the design all the way up through to the top. And I'm going to use one or two choice flowers in it. this glittered stuff, we buy it in from Holland already, blitzed up and everything, so we have to do no work with it. Whoever wins this will take out the twigs and you'll have to put them back in yourself. We'll give you another bit of oasis. You can have a bit of fun doing it yourself. And when this is raffled, unfortunately, the base is not going with it. Because that's my salad bowl. But I mean, you could put it on any kind of a base, put it on a mirror, put it onto any sort of a dish. And I've just filled it up with moss, just to give myself a different texture against this very shiny, wet look, that I have a nice texture at the base here. And really, it's just all about the twigs and the extension. And I'm going to put a bit of this fella here. It's called Kochia, K-O-C-H-I-A, and it's only available around Christmas time, but I think it's a lovely material to use. And it's a nice texture as well. Any kind of a smooth texture with the rough one works well together. One of the old reliable chrysanthemums. One of my very favourites, Amaranthus. I absolutely love Amaranthus. I always say a bird never flew on one wing. Always work in pairs. That's our motto around here, so I'm going to give it 2 Amaranthus. Just keeping it all very monochromatic, all one colour, shades, tints and tones, whites and greens, just to keep it simple, and that the whole arrangement is actually about the twigs and the lights. Of course, you have to have a bit of ivy on for Christmas. I suppose nobody would believe it, but this actually comes in from Holland. We should be ashamed, but everything that we use has to be sterilised, because if you're doing a table design for a function or for a wedding or whatever, you have to make sure there's nothing going to creep across the table. That's what the case. So that's the reason why.
Take it off your wall.
And I don't think it needs a whole lot more than that. But for the light that I didn't put into the water, I'm going to just put it down here at the base, so it should just give the whole design a little bit of light. Okay?